Welcome back. It's been a long time, but I am back to do a follow-up video on my 6-month Thailand visa um, video that I did, where a few of you have asked a couple questions, have been inspired, and felt like, yeah, you know what? I'll try that visa too. Right now, we're on location in Panama City, Panama, because we have done 7 months in Southeast Asia. We had a blast. The people were amazing. The views were beautiful. The apartment we stayed in was fantastic. And then after doing that visa, we realized that Thailand wasn't for us. And so we are going to take this time to make a series about Thailand, about the time that we spent and why we chose not to stay in Thailand. I'm sure that your algorithm is sending you to videos just like this where we're talking about don't move to Thailand. I'm not going to tell you that, but I will say this. If your goal is to retire or to have long-term residency in a country that's going to accept you beyond a tourist visa, that's not the country that's going to do it. Now, we had a blast. We had a time, okay? And that 6-month visa can actually turn into 8 months based on how you use it. We followed the rules, and I will recap on what that is. That is, you have 6 months to come into Thailand. You should apply from your home country. Every 60 days, you have to leave. And then when you come back, you get a re-entry stamp, and you have to show onward travel to yet another destination. And when you do that, each time that you come back, you get an extension that's about good for another 30 days. So that 6 months actually compounds to 8 months. Now, we are strict rule followers. We do not break the law. We do not try to do workarounds. We have heard in some communities some crazy things, but it seems like there's a crackdown happening there anyway. But that wouldn't have affected us because we're always going to follow the cultures, laws, the rules of the lands that we go to. So we didn't spend the full 8 months. We only spent 7.5 months in Thailand, and it was amazing. But Marcel and I are retirees. And so our goal is to find a place where we will have permanent residency, not tourist residency. There is this misconception with DTV visas and these short-term visas that they somehow lead to something more permanent, and they don't. So even if you got a work visa, even if you got a DTV because you own a business, even if you follow creators that are like, let me help you, drop everything in the country you came from and move here, they cannot promise you permanency. And there are many people who have followed the rules, done everything they should and could, and still, with the paperwork intact, could not get residency in Thailand. So just want to put this out here that although we had a blast, and this whole series is going to be about the things that we did in Thailand, the things that we understood and learned. And this isn't about the pretty scenic versions of it. This is about the fact that we chose, when we picked Thailand, to live like we were moving there. So going to the doctor, going to the grocery store, what that looks like. And that's what we're going to cover in this. So as we move forward in the place where we want to be in Panama, which by the way does have a temporary to permanent pensionado visa for people like me who are retired, and other people who have a lifetime income like Social Security. There's no age limit to this. As long as you're over 18, you have an income, and you can show proof of it, you can also get this visa that leads to permanent residency. This is a better choice for us. So we'll eventually get a circle on back to Panama, where we're excitedly on the 12-hour access back on this side of the Americas. But in the meantime, we're going to do some cleanup, and we're going to talk about Thailand and what you should expect and the kind of things that we discovered while we were there. I'm going to tell you now, if you do not have plans to have permanency, Thailand's the place for you. But if you're looking for permanent residency, I'm not so sure. So stick around. We'll get back on track to what that was about. And like I said, we did a 6-month visa. It was 7.5 months. You can make it work for 8 months. and it's an amazing introduction to Southeast Asia. We traveled to Bali, Japan, and Vietnam in our time there, and we were able to see so much that would make you want to stay or find one of those other places to stay in, and we will cover all of that. All right, thank y'all for joining me. See you in the next one.